So let's start with AI in banking.
Okay.
What was your keynote about? So it was bringing the humanity in the technology.
No.
In
My
banking.
keynote was taking the humanity out.
Oh, yeah.
My keynote was that actually the future of retail financial services is selling services to bots, not selling services to people. I mean, banking and payments are quite boring. Most people don't want to do it. As soon as they have a bot that will do it for them, they will have no interest in it. And I don't believe I can make better decisions about finances than a bot can. So I'm happy to hand it over to a bot.
Yeah, okay. And you also mentioned part of this idea of digital identity, but the identity of these bots that are acting in our name.
Yes, so to have an efficient, working, safe infrastructure, that means when we think about digital identity, we mustn't just think about people. We have to think about bots as well. So when I come to the bank, how does the bank know that it's my bot? How does the bank know it's allowed to access my accounts? How does the bank know it's authorized? I mean, it's easy to say these things, but you have to plan out what that means in terms of encryption keys and digital certificates and digital signatures and trust frameworks, and it takes thought to make it happen.
Yeah, and now you mentioned lots of technologies, so technology solutions. And if I were a banker, the CEO, and I'll have to plan the strategy for the next 10 years. What should I be worried about? Where should I put all my eggs? All the investments, or what should I do?
Well, I highlighted 4 areas where I think it makes sense to look at strategic investment. So AI is the obvious one. Every bank has to have a strategy and an informed strategy in that space. The next is digital identity. I think it's been clear for a long time that we need action. Fraud is out of control. The internet is not a safe place. We need something to happen there. And maybe I'm just old school, but I think banks should be part of the solution, not part of the problem there. The third thing I was talking about, spatial computing, the metaverse, the Facebook idea that you'll look through, not down at these virtual worlds. I'm not sure if the banks really see that their next generation customers are already there. Those people spend their time in Minecraft and Roblox and Fortnite. That's how they interact. And then there's also the issue of quantum computing and having a strategy towards what people call Y2Q, the time when quantum computers threaten our existing secure infrastructure. And I know that sounds very distant, and I don't think everybody needs to panic, but they certainly need to have a strategy towards this.
And at the end of the day, all these strategies are about facilitating transactions, payments. For banks, for customers.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, within this story, how do you see concepts like the CBDCs, blockchains, stable coins? What part do these developments play in creating the bank of the future?
Well, tokens in general. If you look at don't listen to what technologists like me say about this. Look at what people like the Bank of International Settlements say, BlackRock, people who are serious players in financial services. The reason they're moving towards tokenization, digital assets, not cryptocurrencies, but digital assets, is because of efficiency. It's because it's much less expensive to exchange tokens on networks than it is to do conventional clearing and settlement and delivery versus payment and so on. So that's absolutely. But again, for that to happen, you need a digital identity infrastructure. You need to know that you're sending tokens to my wallet, that I'm sending tokens to your wallet. We need the same.
And with this concept of digital identity, there are initiatives like in Europe, you have this European digital identity wallet. Then you have the mobile driving license in the US. How do you see this space evolving? Will these digital identities infrastructure be interoperable? Not. Will we have identities also for objects, for assistants, for people?
Yes, no, we will have to have identity for objects. We need identity for everything. In fact, that's what my next book is going to be about. So thank you for mentioning that. When it comes to things like mobile driving license, that's already very standardized. So you already see mobile driving license being used in America, in Australia, experiments beginning in Europe as well. So that ISO standardization is already there. When it comes to the European digital identity wallet, I'm not the expert on this, but my understanding is in Europe, fairly soon, banks will have to allow you to use that wallet to open accounts and things like that.
Yeah.
So if that's true, then other people will certainly use that wallet to simplify other procedures. So I think this is great.
It creates momentum and
Yeah.
more parties join and making it more efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy that today I've received your book, Money in the Metaverse. And I was curious if you can give some teasers to our audience. Why should they read the book?
Sure. Well, the book argues that really there are kind of three things coming together. So there are the new spaces to do business, not just the two-dimensional web, but augmented reality, virtual reality, what some people call spatial computing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people dismiss this as for toys and games, and I think that's wrong, because I think it's a better place to do business for a lot of people. So you've got that. Then you have digital identity, because in order to have business take place in those areas, you need identities, because you need frameworks and legal structures and so on. And then, of course, you need the tokens, because in those worlds, you want the more efficient token infrastructure. You don't want to have to come out of your virtual world and go back to the boring old existing world to use your debit card or whatever.
Yeah.
So when you put those three things together, you get quite an exciting vision of next generation business, which, I mean, I'm not the only genius to think this. I mean, lots of people think this. But this idea that you will have business which is based on reputation, digital credentials, a much safer place to do business. And because it will be safer, it will be less expensive. And that's why transactions will go there.
Yeah. And since we are ending 2024, and you mentioned spatial computing, identity, and the token economy, which area needs to be more improved in 2025 to make this trio work?
Well, I think in strategic terms, I think the banks have to develop more sophisticated AI strategies, because they have to cope with customers getting AI. Nothing's going to stop customers from big tech is giving customers AI. So banks need a strategy there. In terms of rollout, in terms of what do they tactically have to do, clearly digital identity is the number one priority. Because as net interest margins begin to shrink because of AI, amongst other things, transaction margins they are falling anyway. Banks have to look in other places to generate real revenues. And actually things like digital identity, and also data exchange, data management, are the places where, if you like, the premium APIs can be found. So I think digital identity is an absolute priority.
Okay. And since we are at Banking 4.0, what are your impressions of the event so far?
I have two impressions of the event. No, I have three impressions of the event. First of all, it's beautiful. And it's nice to be presenting somewhere that's beautiful, not just a hotel basement in the middle of a city somewhere. I mean, look at this place, secondly, I didn't realize I'm sure they emailed me and told me, I didn't realize how big it was going to be. But you have it's a great turnout, and people from all over Europe, which is fantastic. And the third thing is, I don't think people were expecting to hear what I said about AI. And so the feedback I've had already makes it very interesting for me. I think I surprised a few people, and that's fun,
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dave, for making time for this conversation, and we look forward to your next visit to Romania.
I'd love to come back. Thank you.